If you were ever a kid in a candy store, odds are you know exactly which candy to grab a handful of if you're aiming to scratch that sour itch. A moderate sour craving could be satisfied with a pack of Sour Patch Kids, or maybe a box of Lemonheads. But for those candy thrill seekers who really wanted to pucker up, the only solution was sour Warheads. Warheads were as delicious as they were terrifying. The schoolyards that were awash with tales of gaining a gnarly hole in your tongue if you eat enough of them were the same schoolyards which dared you to eat 20 of them at a time for clout. The infamous candy had a reputation as being the most sour candy ever unleashed on humankind. But, like the weapons which bear their name, could Warheads really, actually hurt you? Or is all that talk just sour grapes? Well, today we're dropping a bombshell as we answer the question, were Warheads ever really dangerous? But before we end on a sour note, why don't you head on over to that subscribe button? Then let us know in the comments below what other mouth-watering mysteries you want to know about. For now, this means war. Sour treats are nothing new. Aside from Granny Smith apples or other naturally sour fruits, the ancient Greeks, Persians, and Egyptians had all made their own sour concoctions from the juice of lemons, pomegranates, and tamarind. But sour flavors in the candy industry didn't really become a thing until centuries later, around the early 1800s. Confectioners looking to add a bit of kick would include different chemicals to their sweets in order to boost the flavor, using ingredients such as lemon juice, cream of tartar, or vinegar, along with chemicals like malic acid, which is a natural occurrence in nature, akin to a super-concentrated dose of what makes green apples sour, could manipulate the flavors and morph something sweet into something slightly more exciting. Decades of manufacturing and taste testing later have resulted in many extreme candies, both sour and spicy. The Atomic Fireball, for instance, was introduced by Chicago's Ferrara Pan Candy Company in 1954 and was essentially a pioneer in the extreme candy business that paved the way for other extreme sour or hot tastes. This is where candy manufacturers in Taiwan got the idea for the sour warhead around 1975. In 1993, Peter DeJager, founder of the Foreign Candy Company in Hull, Iowa, was introduced to the product and brought it back to the States to try and sell it on his own. With its name as a reference to the sour flavor feeling like a warhead has gone off in your mouth, the tiny candy with a big taste was a hit with America's bravest sweet tooths. Featuring a package with a warning about consuming too many pieces and a cartoon mascot with an exploding head named Wally Warhead, the tiny, delicious booby traps could be bought for pennies and devoured very carefully. The intense and mouth-busting flavor you're tasting when a warhead touches your tongue comes primarily from microencapsulated malic acid, which is coated in palm oil for a slow, excruciating release of sour power. This sets warheads aside from other tart-tasting treats like Lemonheads or Sour Patch Kids, which typically have a sour candy shell or are simply blasted with sour crystals on the outside. Each will blast your tongue to smithereens, but only warheads are designed to scorch the earth. By the time they were introduced stateside in the early 1990s, warheads immediately began to gain traction, becoming a national product by the late 1990s. The candy came in 5 main tongue-tarnishing flavors: blue raspberry, lemon, green apple, black cherry, and watermelon, with additional flavors like cherry lime and mango melon eventually joining the lineup. Some claim lemon is the most sour flavor, while others vehemently argue that black cherry takes the sour crown. Warheads can be bought in bulk if you'd like to be added to a federal watch list, and sold individually across convenience stores, corner shops, and anywhere kids might be likely to beg their parents for candy. This approach saw Warheads become a valued $40 million brand for the Foreign Candy Company. But the gimmick of being the most sour candy known to kids, the stuff of playground legend, was a primary factor in its skyrocketing brand recognition. The mere mention of a warhead was enough to make a 90s kid's eyes go wide with fear and excitement. The intense sourness sparked schoolyard challenges, in which children would dare each other to eat as many as possible at one time. Some of you just had a flashback. This dare factor was showcased in print, with a 1997 article about the candy dares in USA Today, as well as television, with an episode of the Food Network's Unwrapped, focusing on the lip-puckering phenomenon. With the success of the extreme sour Warheads following the legacy of dangerous candies such as Atomic Fireballs, Red Hots, Sweet Tarts, or Sour Patch Kids, many competitors and knockoffs attempted to capitalize on the craze, with Warheads throwing in some new ideas of their own to keep up. So-called gross-out candies included Toxic Waste in 2001, marketed as hazardously sour, and came in a small cup shaped to look like a nuclear waste barrel. Barnett's introduced Mega Sour, tiny balls of coated sour crystals, which promised extreme sour bursts lasting 20 seconds. You get your money back if it only lasts for 19. Additionally, the previous record holder on the schoolyard sour scale, Crybabies, which were introduced in 1991, decided they needed to try to win back their crown, changing up their packaging and sour chews to resemble that of Warheads. The extreme candy market was booming by the turn of the 21st century, becoming a contest of intensity as each brand tried to be the Sultan of Sour. Though if you ask most people of candy binging age at the time, they would tell you Warheads always reigned supreme. Warheads also began expanding their own offerings, with new sour candies emerging to destroy mouths all across the country in the form of jelly beans, soda, energy drinks, and just about anything else you could slap a sour coating on. Thrill seekers attempting to grow their palate could now grab a variety of new Warheads Extreme Sour Juniors, Super Sour Spray, Sour Jelly, Super Sour Double Drops, Sour Chewy Cubes, Sour Dippers, and Sour Twists. Basically, if there is a new way to deliver that sour flavor, Warheads is going to try it. They even tried to spice things up for a minute. Cherry Combustion and Tangerine Torture were flavors that matched Warheads' penchant for sour, but this time with a spicy twist. While they may have burned your mouth, they didn't catch fire with enough fans, and Warheads extinguished the line. A candy with the reputation of Warheads was never going to operate without criticisms, the most notable being the damage eating too many of them can do to your mouth. So you may be surprised to learn that some die-hard Warhead fans claim that the manufacturer has been nerfing their product, quietly changing their formula away from malic acid and more toward citric, resulting in a less sour experience than those of 30 years prior. But there's not really any evidence. But likely the most persistent legend behind Warheads are claims that the candy can literally peel the skin from your tongue, or even, in some extreme cases, burn a hole right through the top layer, like a chemical skin peel. While no governing body asks them to do it, Warheads includes a warning label discouraging consumers from eating too many pieces too quickly. Generally speaking, companies don't put warning labels on their products unless they absolutely have to, because those labels can negatively affect sales. So the fact that Warheads added one voluntarily means you should probably pay attention to it. Reports have come in from all over the world about children enjoying a bit too much of the candy with painful consequences. 2 young children in Australia, a 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, allegedly suffered serious burns on their tongues after eating several Warheads. Medical experts confirm that the acids in sour candy do have the tendency to lay some serious road rash on your tongue, leading to soreness and possible damage if consumed excessively and untreated. If you're so inclined, you can watch several ill-advised YouTubers put this to the test, with predictably gruesome results. While Warheads and other extreme candies are not inherently dangerous, unless you choke on one, they can cause temporary irritation and discomfort. The flavor-giving acids contained in any bite-sized candy can lead to tooth enamel erosion, leading experts to recommend a glass of water or milk to wash it down, so it doesn't hang around on your teeth. This has led to an outright ban of some of Warheads' families of products by countries like the Philippines, where Warheads Super Sour Gelled Cherry is targeted by the FDA as an unregistered product. Some Warheads products are less reputable than others. For instance, the Warheads Sour Spray has a pH level around 1.6. pH level is a measure of how acidic something is, with a higher number indicating less acid and more basic. With sour spray's pH level being so low, it's more akin to battery acid than it is to candy. However, it likely won't melt your insides. It just may feel like it is until your saliva can balance everything out again. With low pH, high sugar, and tooth-destroying acids, Warheads are a little like weaponized candy. It's right there in the name. But that hasn't made them any less popular. In fact, a current social media trend claims that eating sour candies such as Warheads can help reduce the effects of a panic attack, but the claim lacks any scientific backing. Sure, focusing on a sour disaster happening in your mouth may distract you temporarily, but at the end of the day, you're still stressed, except now your mouth is slightly irritated. Today, Warheads are still being manufactured by Impact Confections in the US and Universal Candy in Australia. They can be found in the candy aisles of most large supermarkets and are even more readily available online, where the whole line of their mouth-puckering products are available. Sour enthusiasts looking to dismantle the taste buds in their mouths for a short while can enjoy varieties such as Extreme Sour Hard Candy, Chewy Cubes, Worms, Smash Up's Extreme Sour Hard Candy, Sour Twists, Sour Taffy, Sour Gum in multiple flavors, Dippin' Ring, and Sour Soda. The brand continues to be one of the most recognizable sour offerings in the snack food world, with new products being introduced regularly. As recently as April 2025, Warheads introduced a new lineup of Warheads Atomic Fizz candies, which boasts a fizzy explosion once you reach the center, like that movie, The Core. With the hard candy business continually raking in over $500 million every year and Warheads essentially cornering the sour candy market since the mid-90s, you could expect more offerings in the future, each more sour than the last. Because sour candy is nothing if not an arms race. So what do you think? Have you ever done a Warheads challenge? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're here, check out some of these other weird history food videos.